Epic Gaming Night is sponsored by Tasty Minstrel Games. Make sure to check out the Tasty Minstrel podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. This podcast is made possible by the support of patrons like you. Thanks for your support. Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Kennedy, and with me as always is Rob.
Hello, everybody. Sorry we are late. It's my fault.
Hey, man. You had important business to handle.
I did, Roy. I was actually on a double date. My wife and I went out with this other couple that we've been wanting to go out with for a while. And I was like, listen, people, we've been wanting to date a while with you guys, but I've been dating these other people. And I need to go back to my other date. So we ended the date before dessert could start, and I came back to do the show because I love you. Because I love you guys.
That's commitment right there. There. Dude, man. So we're going to have like a casual podcast today. I got a bunch of news stuff that I figure we could talk about. And me and Rob have played a decent amount of games. But we figured we'd do something
Did you see my Hail Hydra came in today?
Yeah, dude, I'm excited about that game too.
I am really excited. Tom gave it a lot of praise. And I was like, all right, I usually don't go with what Tom does. But for some reason, this one just hit home for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the Marvel theme in general. So
yeah,
it helps a little bit.
And the components and everything. I haven't opened mine up yet. I need to, but man, that's one thing we can talk about. Games and their components. I feel like I'm getting a good deal on some of these games.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of great stuff out there. And I mean,
that Raids game that we played, did you play with us?
No, I mean, I saw all the different pieces and stuff like that.
I got that for like $35, $36.
And that has like metal coins, right?
Metal coins, nice wooden meeples, and it's not just like it's nice detailed carved out wood. The ships and everything, it's a good thick cardboard and stuff. It's not a cheap. I have bought games that are lesser quality for more money.
Yeah. So I did want to ask you, are you prepared for the weather that's coming this way? We actually both live in North Carolina, and I think there's like a big storm headed up this way, right?
There is I would say it's a little bit more than a storm. And I was going to tell anybody else that listens that's in the Carolinas.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we do have a lot of friends and family that are in the area and that listen, and we love you guys. Please be safe and be smart. Don't just try to, I don't know. I guess one thing is not so smart, but it'd be a good excuse to be stormed in to then have like an ultimate board game weekend because you're literally stuck in the house.
Yeah.
Right?
Make sure to get all your milk and bread for your milk sandwiches.
Right. Well, I already have all. I'm already kind of a prepper.
Oh, yeah. You've got like the underground bunker for when the zombie apocalypse falls out, right?
Yeah. So I'm just going to use some of those resources. And this is kind of nice because it's like giving me a reason to stockpile again, like restock up. But that's one thing that I'm kind of digging about this a little bit. I'm kind of patting myself on the back a little bit. I already have everything stockpiled that all these people are running to go get. And I'm like, man, when the zombies do come one day, I won't be one of the guys who gets eaten alive at the store.
When Y2K happens, you'll be ready.
When Y2K happens, I will be ready. Yes.
Nice.
So anyway.
Awesome, man. Well, I got a bunch of different news things. I know I didn't share like the news stuff with everybody, but one of the cool things or one of the interesting things that the company actually reached out to us and wanted to ask if we would talk about on the podcast is, I don't know if you've seen the Dized app. Have you heard of that before?
Weren't they showing that at Gen Con? And also, aren't they doing stuff with CMON games now and some other things?
They've shown it at Gen Con like a couple years in a row. So if you don't know what the Dized app is, it's basically like a board game tutorial, or it like teaches you how to play the game, but with an application. And it's kind of super interesting because it's like super thematic at the same time. Like you can actually download the app right now in the App Store, and they only have a couple of games so far, but they're trying to like do up these games like super fancy. So like it'll take you basically it takes you from opening the shrink wrap on the game and taking each component out of the box and tells you exactly how to set everything up and asks you which factions you're going to play with. It like asks you everything about the game. And they currently only have Blood Rage, King Domino, and I think they just added Ice Cool to it. But it's like crazy because it's like super thematic as far as like how the game works. Like it'll play like crazy music, and it's got like this, like with Blood Rage, it's got like this Norse sounding like narrator that's like, and now you do this stuff, and then this.
Does it cost money?
No, I mean the app is free, so you can just download the app and try out the different stuff and things like that.
Are there ads or stuff on there?
I'm not sure how it's going to be working in the future. I mean, I think they are. I mean, they have tons of stuff that has like a timer on it, so it looks like they're trying to get like Carcassonne and
it's not out to the public yet.
The app is out to the public, but there's not as many games out, and I think they're working with publishers to get the publishers on board with this. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get a bunch of different publishers on board to bring their games to this, and I think it's like, publishers can work with them to get their game onto it. And I think they've done like a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo, and I think they're about to do like some more crowdfunding stuff to just try to get this as legit as possible. But playing through it, it feels like you're going through like a video game tutorial on like an app, but for a board game.
That sounds cool.
It's kind of interesting because like, I mean, Blood Rage I already know how to play, and Ice Cool I already know how to play. But like, it would be interesting to go through one of these like from the beginning, like just throwing it on the table and not knowing the game, and just like bringing it out, because it definitely takes you every step by step and allows you to skip steps if it's like, okay, yeah, I kind of know this, or this is super simple. But then it has that like thematicness to it. It's just kind of weird. Like, it's very well done. And so if you haven't checked out Dized, make sure to check it out. Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool stuff. And they hit up the podcast about like, hey, you guys should talk about this because we're really excited and we're gonna bring a lot of cool stuff. And I'm like, I mean, I knew what it was, but I didn't know how, I guess, like, good quality it was, you know.
Well,
so I'm excited.
And for like me personally, I would rather watch that, even if it's literally just going to read to me what I could read on my own. I would rather watch that than read the rule book. So I mean, I don't know. The rule books to me like are just annoying, even though I do like to read and stuff like that. So I'm excited for any type of app integration.
Yeah,
that could help teach stuff.
My normal strategy for learning a game, which is terrible, is like I'll watch a review and I'll watch several videos about it, because reviews aren't really made to learn the game. And I'll be like, I've played a lot of board games. I got this.
I can figure this out.
I can figure this out. And I'll skim the rule book a little bit, but I'm not going to, maybe like 50% of the time, if not more than 50% of the time, there's just something that's completely overlooked. So it'd be nice to have like something like this to be like, okay, we're doing every step and doing everything the right way, instead of just like guessing how the game works.
Well, and also by the time you argue about something and find it in the page and all that stuff, that 15 to 20 minutes that you would have spent trying to figure out the game, I bet they already have it taught via the app. So
yeah, and the good thing about it, I think, is the fact that you can literally not have the game opened and then open this up and just start completely from scratch. You know, because I mean, even if you wanted to learn a game and sit down and learn the game, you would like sit there and like at least watch a video or something, and then you're still gonna kind of be rusty. This is just like, you can just immediately start jumping in, and it'll immediately start having you start play through turns to teach you. Like, it teaches you by making you do the stuff, which is super interesting. So yeah, definitely check that out. It's like free on the app stores, like all the app stores right now. So
how do you spell it?
Let me actually bring it back up so I actually spell it properly. It is D-I-Z-E-D, Dized. But yeah, good stuff, man. Cool.
Sweet.
Well, this next thing, I don't think we talked about it on the podcast yet, but did you see the game that was announced by one of our favorite designers, Corey Konieczka, Discover Lands Unknown?
Is that Corey?
Yes, that is a Corey Konieczka game.
Okay.
So we talked about on the podcast a little while back the whole Keyforge game, like the the card game that Richard Garfield made, where it's like procedurally generated decks and all sorts of crazy stuff. I think we talked about this maybe on the podcast already, because I remember people in chat talking about it. But I'm still super excited about it because I've just been like watching and reading more stuff on it. It's literally like an exploration game that's procedurally generated.
And what's it called again?
Discover Lands Unknown. And basically the way it is like you're going to play, like every single box is going to have like different stuff in it. Like it's never going to be exactly the same. It's going to be like an exploration, survival, cooperative. Like it's supposed to be semi-cooperative or something like that. But like you're going to be, the theme kind of reminds me, maybe not exactly, but it's like a sort of like survival style game, maybe like Seventh Continent or something like that along those lines. I was about to ask,
is it like Seventh Continent?
But this one is procedurally generated in the way where like every single box is not the same. So every single game that every single person owns is different than every single other game other people own.
Huh.
That's really crazy. But it's supposed to have like story and events that happen and different event cards. And
so they must have some type of algorithm.
Yeah.
And it's like it's going to be like a print on demand service. So like you order a game,
they're going to print tons and tons and tons of them and have them already ready, because that's what they've been doing. That's what they're going to do with all of these games.
Yeah, but that's just so much extra work.
They've got something that they're doing with this whole printing process where they just have it made where it prints, or it's just like the sorting process somehow, because they're using computer algorithms to make these games.
Yeah.
Where they're all different. But it's kind of interesting because like you look at the pictures on their website and it's like sometimes you'll get a game that's like in the desert, and sometimes you'll get a game where you're in the mountains, and sometimes you'll get a game where you're like in snow and you're just trying to figure out how to survive. And there's different games where you get like all different characters and there'll be different things you can unlock. And I'm like, man, I mean, I really want to try it, mostly because like I really like Corey's games, especially the ones that like he designed that are like his thing. So I'm really excited to see, like, I don't know if I've played a Corey Konieczka game that I wasn't at least like excited about, you know? I mean,
I don't think I've played any of his games that I haven't enjoyed.
Even Star Wars Destiny, I was just like, man, I really don't want to like this, but the game itself is good, even though it's collectible.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It's just that it's a collectible. Man, that just kind of blows my mind. Like I guess for me, it's easier to understand that they're going to be able to pull that off with Keyforge than a whole board game.
Exactly.
Like that's just, man, that's got to cost them a lot of money. Because like,
I don't know how
you send this stuff to the print shops and you get a discount when you order like $5,000, $10,000 worth of, or not $10,000. When you order like 5,000 to 10,000 units of prints, like, okay, I can sell it to you a lot cheaper because boom, you know, X, Y, and Z. But now you're not running not even hundreds of prints. You're running individual prints. Because if they guarantee every game is going to be different.
Is it like a sorting thing? Like, so, okay, because I know it has like modular tiles.
But it can't be a sorting thing, because then I still have the chance to buy a game. It may be 1 in a million, right? But I'll still have a chance to pick up a game that's like another game. Unless they do a sorting thing and then they're able to like categorize it by the serial code, and they know, okay, no 2 serial codes, you know, can be in the state or something like that.
It's like there's 100 different tiles, and each game only uses like 10 of them or 20 of them or something like that, and like the combinations of them. I mean, it could do a bunch of different things like that, but it's just kind of like it's mind-boggling like how they're. I mean, when they announced Keyforge, we're like, holy smokes, that's a unique idea. I didn't realize they were going to be announcing another, because they're calling them unique games. So where every single game in the series is unique from each other. I didn't realize they were going to be announcing like a full board game that uses that same like
that's got to be
so soon.
I mean, unless they do some type of serial code tracking system to know what's going where. It's either that or everything's got to be independent. Yeah. And see, like, here's the thing, like, so like the books and stuff that I like to write, some of the publishers and things that where they offer stuff out there now, you have a print on demand service, right? Like, there's no more where an author or somebody has to order 1,000 of their own books and then try to sell them individually. You just go to Amazon and you say, I want to buy this book, and then the print shop literally prints off one of those books and mails it to you.
Yeah.
right? Rather than having the stockpile.
Which
Like,
I
if I
think
can
they've
save
done
the
that
space.
before with like a small deck of cards, like for their
But
like
now you're talking about
small
doing that with the
expansions.
game,
I don't think they're doing
right?
that. I think they're literally printing thousands and thousands of copies of these games that are completely different.
You know how big of a risk that is? Because what if it flops?
Well,
Because see, I think Asmodee, I think they really screwed up with Keystone, right? It's Keyforge.
Keyforge.
I think they screwed up with Keyforge. Like they should have had Keyforge for sale at Gen Con, because Keyforge it's gonna be a hype thing. I don't think it's really gonna last.
it'll be interesting. I've seen a lot of buzz around it, but we'll see what happens when the game actually comes out. I've seen a lot of people posting about like, oh my goodness, I want decks, and oh my goodness, we're stoked for decks. But it's kind of interesting because there's 2 SKUs for that game. Like the only things you can buy are the core set and then a random deck. And so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how well it does. I'm kind of interested. I mean, I'd like to play it with you, but I'd like
interested.
I'd like to get a couple
I'm
more decks
interested just because
like,
it's Corey.
Yeah. Oh, with the new game?
Yeah, or I mean, even Keyforge and all that stuff. I'm interested in it. I just don't see how it's going to be long-term successful.
Oh,
and
like
because
the board
they were
game, I'm pretty sure they're not expecting you to buy multiple copies of the board game. It's just like your game is going to be different than everybody else's. Because, I mean, it's going to be a full-fledged, expensive board game. So I don't think they're, like, going after people rebuying it unless they were, like, that hardcore. But it's just kind of like, no, you play through the game. That's your experience, and you're the only one.
Or they're expecting everybody to buy multiple copies to find the difference on the cards or something.
Maybe.
Oh, see, this is different than this.
It would be interesting to like have a game like that where it's like, oh, we played this, and they're like, holy smokes, I didn't realize that was even possible in the game, because it's not possible in my game. That's insane,
Hey, how did your game go over on Saturday? They like it?
We don't talk about it. It went really great.
For those that don't know, Roy is creating a game. We won't go too much into it, but it's really good. It's a lot of fun. And I'm excited for its release in Q4 2019, or is it Q1 2020?
Rob's just making up stuff. It's fine. Thanks, Rob. Thanks.
Hey, I'm putting it out there, man.
No, I mean, there's some pictures online, dude. There was a lady from the news or from the newspaper that was like interviewing me hardcore and like taking a bunch of pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
And so
you're a big deal, Roy.
Psh, I'm trying to keep it low key.
Nah, man. With hair like that, everybody knows who you are.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. What was I gonna say? Oh, this next one that I have here. I was gonna see how excited you are about it. Maybe you're too far behind to be super excited. But Altered Fates, the new DLC scenario for Mansions of Madness. More Mansions of Madness.
I'm always excited for Mansions of Madness.
Dude, I'm just excited that they're still putting out DLC for it.
Yeah, and I like that because it's not going to be expensive, and because it's the DLC, you can use it with just the base game stuff.
Yeah.
Like I ran into a problem the other day. Last time I had people over from church, we tried to play Mansions of Madness, and I didn't have all my stuff separated. Like I threw it in the box from the time I played before, and so trying to find the tiles that we needed to set up X board, because I have all of the tiles, was very annoying. And so I literally went in and sorted, okay, this is with this expansion, because they all have like the little symbols on the bottom corners. And so rather than just looking for hallway 4, because there's like multiple hallway 4s.
Yeah.
So what I like about the DLC is regardless of what expansions, you can just use it for the base game. So anyway, it's pump. I love that game. Here's the thing, though. I don't know, and I'm not going to say what's taking its space or anything like that. I don't know if it's going to be my forever #1 game.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know, man. I've been playing some other games, and I'm not saying it's a Euro game, but I've been playing some Euro games that I like and some other stuff. I may be growing a little bit, out of my shell, because there's also a lot of nostalgia with Mansions of Madness.
Yeah.
Like I remember that first time ever playing. I don't think I'll ever forget that gaming experience. And just playing in the back of that crazy comic book store with people I never met before, and killing the Shogoth and like winning the game. Like that was so awesome, so much fun. I can even remember what the guys looked like that I played with. I can't remember their names, but some of them, one, you just can't. If you saw them, you'd be like, oh, Yep. Anyway, just so fun. But anyway, I think I don't know. Let me ask you this: do you feel like your top 10 is starting to change a little bit? Like, is War of the Ring still just that special to you?
I really like it. I need to get it back to the table, but
Well, it's not that you'll ever not like it or love it, right? Because like,
oh
War of the
no,
Ring
I mean,
is,
it may have slipped like a position, but
yeah, but well, Mansions of Madness, I don't think will ever drop out of my top 5 or top 10 or anything like that. But I mean, there's just a lot of really good games coming out
for
now.
Sure. For sure.
You know, like if I'm doing a desert island scenario and you can only bring X amount of games, you know, I don't know
if you had unlimited battery power or a solar charger, Mansions of Madness wouldn't be that bad of a choice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I'm excited. I just want to play through more of the scenarios. I just wish I had time, man. I need time to play this stuff.
Yeah.
There's so many good things.
I want to play this Western Legends that just came in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Do you know when like you would have time to make something like that? Because
I'll make time for that. Hey, there's a hurricane coming, and I'm
if everybody's
sending
out
my
of work,
family away. So I'm staying home, and I'm sending my wife and my daughters away. And this is like legit. So if anybody wants to come to my house, I'm not going to say my address over the internet or anything. But any of the friends and stuff listening, you want to come to my house, I'll be home. And I already have a stockpile. You'll be eating Spam and crackers. But I've got everything that you could want. I've got hundreds of candles and batteries and things like that. Yeah, come play.
Nice.
So if you're asking, Roy, I'm free Friday and Saturday for sure. We'll see after that. Good. Maybe some flooding, so we won't play in the basement.
Oh no!
That's the main reason why.
Hey, make sure to get your good games off the bottom shelves.
Yeah. Well, and we have a lot of stuff in the basement, and I don't want to go away and then come back home to like mildew and mold and stuff like that. Not that mold will grow that fast, but like I don't want to come back to having multiple inches like still in my basement. So I'm staying here as like preventative. Like, okay, if it starts to flood, I can try to scoop out as much as I can, even if I have to use a shovel and a bucket. I'll do whatever I have to.
Nice. I also wanted to mention Starship Samurai's Shattered Alliances. They're already coming out with an expansion for that game. That's crazy.
I need to play that game again. My copy's still in shrink.
Dude, I had it the other day. I thought about bringing it out. I brought mine
with me to Recon.
I thought about bringing it out.
I played really all games at Recon except for one. I think I played all brand new games that I never played before, which was a blast. I had a lot of fun at Recon.
That's awesome.
But Starship Samurai, it's not a long game. It's not a complicated game. It's a lot of fun. It's a good solid game. You know, hour and a half, if that, you can get it in. And so the expansion just adds more.
The expansion just seems to add like a couple more mechs and then just a bunch more cards. I think it's got like, does it have like faction specific cards or something along those lines? So. But yeah, and I was talking to Isaac and he's like, the color bases aren't in this expansion, but we're trying to make that happen soon, because he said that all the reviews are fussing about the color bases, which makes sense. I mean, that's literally the only complaint people can think about the game, because the game is great. Yeah. It's just like,
well, whose mech is whose?
Whose mech is whose? It's a little bit hard to tell. And because the mechs switch hands every single time you play. But besides that, the game is awesome. And I actually really enjoyed it. Every single time I've played it, I've had a blast. So I'd love to play. I haven't played it with you, Rob. Like, you taught us how to play, but I haven't actually gotten a chance to play it with you.
Yeah, I was playing with Kent and Courtney, super sweet people. Yeah, I taught you guys how to play. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I think if you and I played together, though, I don't know if we would win, because we would just be like killing each other's stuff the whole time.
Well, I mean, that game you can't play without people's stuff just getting killed. I mean, it's just the way.
No, but I think like we would do it like vengefully, not smart to win. I feel like we'd like,
I feel like half the time my stuff just got killed in that game anyway. So it doesn't matter what you do, your stuff just gets killed. But I won, so I don't know what that means. I guess I did okay still in like pushing up the factions, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then the last one I have on the list here for news before we get into what we've been playing is Tiny Epic Mechs is coming to Kickstarter on Thursday. So this is the newest Tiny Epic game where you have mechs. I actually like have it like sitting up on the table over there. I have like mechs spinning around in a circle because I shot my video or whatever for it that's about to come out. But good times. It's a pretty cool little game if you're into like programming and like beating each other up in a mech suit and upgrading your mechs. And I think the best part about the game is honestly just the item meeples are silly. Like it's amazing what Emerson and the Gameland crew has been able to come up with on these different mechs. It's just cool to see like, oh, you slot in all the different items and get the different weapons, and it's kind of like an interesting little combat system where, oh, if you play this type of weapon first and I play this one, it'll do more damage, but if you play that one, this one won't do that much damage, and trying to outsmart your opponent to get your max damage in there, knock each other out, and get points. That's like the whole game is just programming your guys to beat each other up. So a cool little game, Tiny Epic Mechs. It's going to be coming out Thursday, so make sure to check that out on the Kickstarters if you're into some Gameland games, because, you know, Scott Alms and stuff.
Right? I'm excited for it, but I'm more excited right now for my copy of Tiny Epic Zombies to come in with the play mat and all that kind of stuff.
I've seen like everybody else, like I've seen tons of people say that they have their copies of that. I can't believe yours hasn't.
Mine has not come in yet. In fact, I'm checking my UPS stuff now. It arrived today at the local post office, so hopefully I'll get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that, and so we'll see. We'll see how Mechs turns out. I like the programming. You know, I really liked the programming when we played Mechs and Minions. I thought that was a fun game, and so if it's anything like that, I think that'll be cool. But yeah, I'm more pumped for those zombies right now, man.
Oh yeah, and the little zombie meeples in that is pretty cool too. Like these little tiny little zombie guys that you put in there, and of course equipping chainsaws to your
the chainsaws, and
meeples.
Also having the mat. For some reason, I'm just like really into the mats right now.
Yeah.
Well, because they're so nice, and also with the Tiny Epic games, like it makes the game feel not so tiny.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have the one for Tiny Epic Quest, and it looks awesome. So I'm sure that the one for zombies is great too.
But yeah, I'm pretty pumped for that.
Nice. Cool. Well, I guess we can start talking about what we've been playing. We recently did a poll on our Kickstarter page about which game we should review / give away, and randomly Rob ended up playing that game at Recon, the game that won, and the game is Root. We're going to do a full review when we both get to play it, but Rob, what's your opinion on Root so far?
Well, I'm not rooting for Root. Here's the thing. Root was fun. Speaking of programming, like the faction that I had was more programming, and I listened to somebody of what I should do at the beginning, but now having played, I would have done things differently.
Yeah.
Root is a basic, more or less it's an area control game where you are different animals in the forest. They are the cats that control the entire forest except for one corner. Then there's birds that control this one corner, and the cats control everywhere else. And the birds used to be the royalty of the forest, and now the cats have taken over. And so the birds are trying to expand and get their position back. And then you have like the free animals, which are rabbits and mice and squirrels and all this other kind of stuff as a faction who just kind of pop up wherever they want to pop up. And they can like cause chaos in areas that the cats control and try to take over stuff from that. And then there's this one faction who is literally a raccoon who just walks around saying, hey, man, I'm cool with you. You cool with me? Let's trade stuff. Like, that's all I want to do. And I could fight you, but I'd rather just trade with you because I get more stuff when I trade. And so the game was fun. I just think after playing it one time through, it's a little imbalanced. I would have to play it again. My problem with the game is I made that comment. I posted on Instagram. And other people on Instagram as well as off of Instagram have told me, yeah, you need to play it more than once to kind of get a good feel for it. I don't think that's what makes a good game. If I've got to play a game multiple times to get a feel for the balancing. It's made from the
same people that made Vast, right? So it's got like these specific very asymmetrical different player powers for everything. So it's kind of like, well, this one's really powerful if you don't do these specific things to stop it, right? Is that the sort of how you feel about it?
Yeah, it's one of those things where like you have to jump on it. You've got to do certain stuff because when we played the cat guy, Trevor, he won by more than 20 points. I think he won by 21 points, and you only played at 30 points.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, I mean, granted, it was my first time ever playing. I don't ever expect to win the first time I ever played. But like, for example, I was the bird faction. I was limited on what I could do. The bird faction, it's all programming. And if you don't do your programs in order, like if you can't ever fulfill a program that you've programmed for whatever reason, you automatically lose points based off of how many birds you have, because birds are wild cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, well, and you always add cards every round. Every round you got to add new programs and new cards. So if I draw cards and I can't use them in my program, well, then my program resets. And I lose victory points for however many bird cards I've already placed out. And so it's like every couple of rounds I'm losing 3 to 5 points, let's say.
Rough.
And so it's like, okay, and they make it where you have to, like, you're going to have to change your general and your leader, because once you can't do your program, you change your leader and you get a new leader, and you have to put your cards in certain areas. So it's rough like that, and that was fine. That didn't bother me, but I just don't think it was balanced, and so I would need to play it again.
One faction's definitely easier to win with.
Well, the cats are everywhere. They are everywhere. And so if you're going to be the cat person, you're going to get attacked, because everybody else, to like get on the board and do stuff, they have to expand and attack, right?
Yeah.
And so like me as the bird person, starting off, I would have to move and attack somewhere on the board that either had a fox, squirrel, or mouse on it, right? Well, I don't get to choose really where I want to go. I have to go wherever those symbols are, or I'm going to lose points.
Yeah.
And so whether it's advantageous for me or not to go to that location, I'm going so I don't lose points. Even though my strategy may say, hey, go up this whole side of the board and try to control and sweep. Nope. I may have to run right into the middle of the board, because I'm now going to lose victory points if I don't complete this program that was laid out for me. And so it's just kind of, I don't know. It was.
Which faction would you want to play the most next time you played the game?
See, the problem is I want to try the bird people again, because it's like, okay, I want to see if
you can master them.
Yeah, it's like I want to see if, because I really got close. Not close. I scored close to 20 points.
Yeah. And then you lost so many?
All of my leaders. And the smallest amount of points I ever lost on my leaders was 3. And I think one time I lost 5.
Dag.
So
you kept undoing
I ended the game with 9 points. And 2 times I lost 3, and 1 times I lost 5. So that means that's 11 points right there, plus my 9. So I'm at 20 points, which that's a little bit better than losing. Is it
possible to just like not lose any points?
Nope, because once you're bird person, once you can't fill that thing. And here's the thing. The cards build on top of each other.
Yeah.
So you may be able to do a program the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Every round as the bird people, you have to play a new card. That doesn't reset the old cards. You're just adding it in addition to. So I have to move and attack a squirrel place, and now I have to move and attack a fox place. And this. And like every round, it just stacks. So it's never like erasing your last round. You're having every round you're building where you have to do that and more and more and more. So eventually you're going to come to a point where you already own all the fox places on the map. There's no way I can attack a fox place, but I have a fox icon on my attack area. Well, I can't attack there, so I'm going to lose eventually, and then I'll lose all those points for any birds that I put down, any bird cards. So it's rough.
Interesting. Well, we'll get the game and see it and try it out and mix it up.
I
and
mean,
see
I
what's
want to try it
going
again.
on
It
and-
was not. I love the artwork. I love the theme. I think it's super cool. Like the cats are the bad people, and like the birds are trying to come back. And you have this raccoon who's kind of shady. You know, like dumpster diving. Hey man, I have the shoe. Do you need a shoe? I have this tin can. You know, I've got this thing. You know, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I just thought it's hard for me to say something is a really great game or a really balanced game when even other people are telling you, yeah, you really need to play multiple times
yeah.
to get it. Well, why would I then want to go buy that game? So, I don't know.
Well, we're buying it. So
Yeah.
good times. I don't think it's widely available yet, but as soon as it's not like $1 million for somebody else's copy, it should be easy to get a hold of, hopefully.
I'm excited to play it, and I'm excited to see what you and Matt think. Because I could be completely wrong. So, and I probably am, you know. Like I was a little off put at the beginning when they're like, well, you can only do this. See, like when Trevor got to play, he got to do whatever actions he wanted to do. Like
Yeah.
if he wanted to move the whole time, he could move. If he wanted to attack the whole time, he could attack. In my faction, everything was programmed because all the factions are very different from each other.
Yeah.
And so, like if he wanted to take over an area, he probably was going to get that area because he could attack 4 times. Well, I can only attack the areas where I have a card down, and I can only attack the areas that match the symbol of my card.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, how am I supposed to do anything? And you played games with Trevor. If you look at Trevor the wrong way, you know, he's going to jump back and like jump on you, right? Well, I have to attack Trevor because my cards say I have to attack Trevor.
I normally try to talk him out of it. It's fine.
What?
I said I normally try to talk him out of it. It's fine.
Well, like for the game, because he was the cat people, they're all
That's
over
their
the
whole
board.
job.
So like if you're attacking anybody, it's going to be Trevor, especially at the beginning because he's all over. And it's not that it's like just Trevor, but like the cat group. So it was one of those things where it was like, okay, like I'm playing this game and I literally, my only option is to play a mouse card here or a rabbit card there. Because all my other stuff is already pre-programmed. Okay. Like to me, that was a little off-putting.
Nice.
Yay.
Well, we'll look into it. I'm excited. I never actually got a chance to play Vast, so I'm definitely interested to see how Root is, and I've heard a lot of great things about it. So we'll see. We'll see for sure. Cool. Well, I want to talk about another game that we both got to play, and this is actually a game from our friend Lindsay from Dogmite, and that is
Lindsay Road.
Countdown Action Hero, or Action Edition is the name of the game. But you're playing as an action hero. It's a social reduction game, but it's got like a lot more stuff going on it, which makes it super interesting. Basically, one player plays as the action hero, and everybody else is either a hostage or a villain. We were playing with like the basic setup where you just use like different character roles as the hostages, and then the bomber villain, which is trying to like make it so that that the other hostages get blown up and not as many villains get blown up. There's different modes you can play with the action hero. We were playing mostly with the one, well, we did play with the one that's the wild card, where you have to not let more than one hostage die in the explosion, and then have at least one of the villains left in the explosion. So basically, everybody playing the game is trying to convince the action hero that they're just a hostage, but they all have different roles. So it could be like, oh, you're like the hip hop artist, or oh, you're the supermodel, or oh, you're the bodybuilder, or I think we had like the android thrown in there that looked like who did you say the android looked like?
Johnny Five.
Johnny Five. And it was just an interesting game where you're like all trying to act like these characters, because you play off of this countdown deck, which is super interesting because you have a countdown deck which acts like a timer for the game. So basically on a
And
turn,
it works like a timer too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
We got nervous once we got to round 3. I was like,
yeah, for sure. Because there's basically a bomb card that's mixed into the round 3 cards. And you only have a few cards of each round, and it is based on the player count, which gives you a little bit more time to hopefully find out who's who. But basically, you flip over one of these cards, and as the action hero, it'll give you different options. You're allowed to pick 2 of the options. I think there's like 3 or 4 options on each card, and it'll let you either like ask a specific question, like, "Hey, what are you planning on doing today?" or "Hey, what kind of music are you into?" And it's all stuff that's supposed to allow the other players to act out the role of whatever hero they selected. Everybody will be like drafting the role cards. If you're a villain, you have to take a bomber card. If you're just a hostage, you get to take one of the crazy roles like bodybuilder or Johnny Five, android, or whatever. But yeah, there was a police dog. We should have mixed police dog in there. Then somebody could have just barked the whole time. That would have been awesome. But yeah, there's several different roles and things like that people can be, and those are all just like thematic ones as far as like the characters you are, and you just have to act like those characters. But you can also ask people a yes or no question. You can also take someone away and like speak to them for like 20 seconds or something like that. Just step off to the side and then talk to them real fast, and that's it. That actually was pretty useful at certain points where it's like, if somebody just gained information and you wanted to hear from them one-on-one what information they gained before they told it the whole group, it was kind of cool to be like, okay, let's step off to the side. Let's talk about what you saw. It's kind of interesting without the influence of everybody else. But then the main actions you can get are the released hostages action, where you're picking, hey, I'm going to release you. There's also a unreleased hostage where you can basically like throw them back into the hostage situation, which is kind of funny as well. But you're trying to make sure to only release the people that are actually hostages and not release any of the bombers. What did you think about the game overall, Rob? I thought it was pretty interesting.
Okay. So, overall, I liked the game. I thought the game was a lot of fun. I'm a big sucker for social deduction games, sure. So I did enjoy that aspect of the game. I like some of the uniqueness of it, like the talking for 20 seconds, the yes or no, like the releasing the hostages and stuff like that. There's only one issue that I have with the game, and I don't know if you picked up on this at all on Saturday, but like in the game, you get a character card, and you're supposed to act like that character. And multiple times I got the surfer guy, and the surfer guy was fine. Like I was over the top silly with it and stuff like that. But there was a guy who was sitting to your left who joined us for the second game.
Oh, yeah.
Who was acting like a certain character. And I was thinking, if
the wrong person was there...
It was almost offensive. Like if he would have done any more, I would have asked him to stop, because I started to feel like a little like okay, like this is not good. Like I know what you're doing, but it's not cute.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, and you could have said the same thing about me. Sure, like I'm being like, hey bro, yeah, I'm just catching some waves. Like I was being all stupid and stuff like that. But there were certain things that were said with that character that where I was just like, I would never do that. Just, and you know what I'm talking about. And so with that being said, that's the only thing that I have with the game.
So it just depends on the group that you play with. Some people,
well, it depends on the group that
if they decide to be edgy with their character, it's like, And I mean, I guess that's the sort of thing that could happen in a random, I mean, I didn't know the guy we were playing with. They were just like,
I didn't know him either.
We
were playing at a local con.
So
yeah. But besides that, I really liked it. My favorite part about it though was actually the deck and how like level 1, level 2, and then level 3. Because like the last
the choices too that you get to make as the action hero.
Well, and also how it ramps up. Like, it reminded me a little bit of Ethnos a little bit. Like, you know, where you put in the dragon cards in the bottom half of Ethnos. Like, stuff is going to start going crazy. Like, once we hit that first level 3 card and it wasn't the bomb, we were like, oh, crap. All right, it could be this card. Like, make sure you got it right. Who's it? Who's right? Who's safe? Who's not safe? And so it made that third round, like, every single card in the third round Not that the other rounds weren't, but every card in the third round was very intense, especially if it wasn't the bomb.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you wanted to make sure you had all your ducks in a row, and I like that tension. That was fun, seeing that come together and stuff like that. So anyway, I enjoyed it. I'm glad that I ordered my copy. It's a game that I will play again. I like the characters, and because the characters matter on the questions that you ask, because it's almost a mix of like Spyfall, One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and maybe Ethnos for just like the card thing. But like Spyfall, if you're a villain, you're just the villain, like on Spyfall, doesn't know the location.
Yeah.
The villains in this game, they don't know the characters.
Right.
And so there were a couple times where guys were acting.
They know
like
what characters they could be, but they don't know what characters are actually in the game.
Yes,
there will
but I knew I
be
was the
characters that
surfer.
aren't in the game, which.
But I knew I was a surfer every time, and
Right.
every time there was somebody else trying to act like the surfer.
I would love to see that game when we had really strong like villains or really strong bombers. I'm not saying that the people we had, no offense, Trevor, that they weren't that strong of
Hey,
villains.
Dustin got me that second game, man.
I had Dustin pegged like hard both games.
He got me that second game. That one little comment. He pulled a mind jumble thing on me. He pulled a Jedi mind trick.
I tried to talk you out of it. I was like, hey man, the bomb wasn't in there. He put that on the top, then said that because he's super smart. Dustin's not playing around. But like
Yeah.
I had him pegged as a. I mean, if people don't like go hard on like their character that they are, like I'm thinking if somebody's like a really good villain, they could just pick a role and just try to go as hard with it, and then
And
when
go-
someone else acts like it, be like, whatever, man, come on, you were just doing that because I did that first or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could play it up, and I mean that probably comes with experience in playing the game, But it would be interesting to see because I felt like both games, they were really fun, but I think Mark Cale was still confused at the end. But by the end, I knew exactly who everybody was.
Man, I love Mark.
Yeah.
I love Mark to death. But we were playing a couple games, and he was confused.
It was so funny because like he had released someone who like we felt like was a villain, and then Kent said that, oh yeah, they're definitely a villain, and they were released. So I was like, okay. It's also an interesting thing because everybody has the action cards, which are really cool, like action scenes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally
I love
forgot
the
about
action scenes because
You
they
throw 'em
give
in
everybody a
whenever the
power that they can just throw out whenever.
Yeah.
One of my action scenes was that I could actually put someone back, like capture them back, and Dustin and Trevor were both released, and I was like, yo, who should I put in, Dustin or Trevor? Because I thought both of them were villains. And he's like, oh, put Trevor back in. So I put Trevor back in with
Kent
this
was
action
also
gun.
like put in Trevor.
Yeah, so Kent was like, put in Trevor. So I was like, okay, we're going to capture Trevor again. Then another card came up, and he released Trevor again for the second time. I'm like, Mark, what are you doing? You just told me to put him back in because he's a villain. It turned out he was a villain. So it's just like, come on. I mean, we didn't lose the game, but it was just still funny the way that it worked. Kent was the hostage both times and never made it out.
Yeah.
We just left Kent in the hostage situation to blow up with the bomb. He was the sacrificial lamb.
I love Kent. He's so sweet. Him and his wife, Courtney, they spoil me to death. I don't deserve to be their friends. I don't know what I did in the past or anything like that, but like it was my birthday on Saturday, and they got me birthday presents, and they got me like legit birthday presents, like big deal stuff. Did you give me a present? What was that you handed me?
Oh, it was that. It was the good critters or whatever. The Teeth Tosham game or whatever that we played.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I was just overcome by the.
It was the one where basically one person plays as the president. They get to like sort out the money that everybody's getting, and then people.
Oh, the one we played in
blackmail them.
Florida.
Yes, yeah, it's that game. It's like,
but it's got like the cats and animals, like cartoon
it's like
animals.
a re-theme of it. I thought that it would be like a good game because you like cash and guns-ish style games. I feel like it'd be a good game to play with like church groups and stuff like that too.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I'm sorry, I was blown away. They got me a couple of other stuff, but thank you very much. I'm very thankful and appreciative of that.
Yeah, man. What was I gonna say? But yeah, back to Countdown Action Hero. I thought it was a great game. I'm excited to play it some more, especially now that I know the rules fully.
I definitely want to play again. Like it's one I'll take to cons, and also the box is not very big at all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's nice. Like Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, I love it. I think it's the best social deduction game. But the
every
box
single
is
time
like
the
annoying.
every time you open that box, the cards are just everywhere.
Not now. I took out the insert and everything's
Put
in
all in
bags now.
I,
Well,
I need to
because
do
it
that.
was so annoying, every time they would all get all over the place. Because there's so many cards in that game, and so it's just
Yeah, I need to do that because I'm tired of everything just falling everywhere.
and it, yeah, so sweet. I got a game that I really enjoyed and played.
Which one?
So I played Bunny Kingdom for the first time ever with Kent Parker, Mark Kale, and our buddy Ryan. And Bunny Kingdom is a game by Yellow Games, and it's 4 rounds. And what you do in the game is you have a draft of 10 cards. At least for a 4-player game, there's 10 cards, and you're going to draw 2 cards and then pass it to the person on your left. And after you draw those 2 cards, you're immediately going to play those cards.
Oh, nice.
So it's not like one of those things where like, all right, I'm going to do this and then do this whole program. Nope. You're immediately going to play those cards if you can play them. And you don't necessarily have to play the effect of that card, but you're going to reveal that card to everybody. Like, because that one of those cards may be like a castle that you're going to build. So you're going to flip the card over, put the castle on that card, and let everybody know, hey, I have now the potential to build a castle type of a thing. And they're just going to keep doing that back and forth, until all 10 cards are gone, have been drafted. And then once all the cards are revealed, then you do the effects of the cards where, okay, you're going to build the castle, you're going to get the special crop. And what you're trying to do is it's 4 rounds. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. And you get points by making fiefs, and you want your fiefs to control multiple crops. And the 3 crops that come basic with the game are carrots, wood, and fish. And so you may own an area that has 4 fish, right? And you may have a castle on there. You may have multiple castles. And let's say one is a 2-tier castle and one is a 1-tier castle.
Yeah.
You're going to take the individual logo for the crop. So I may have 4 fish, but that only counts as 1 fish logo because I already control fish. Now I'm going to take 1 times 3, right? Because I have the 2-tier castle and the 1-tier castle. So the 1 plus 2 is 3, and I'm going to multiply that times my 1 crop. But let's say I have a fief that has wood and a carrot and fish, where I have characters on all those things. And then I have a 4-tier, like 2-tier castles, right? So that's 4 times 3. So that's 12 points. And so what's crazy is like the first round, you're not really going to score a lot, but eventually, as you put more and more
amounts,
you're going to start scoring massive amounts. And then as you get these cards, some of the cards allow you to add unique elements to the game, where you may get gold, you may get mushrooms, you may get diamonds, you may get other things, but you just need to have as many of the different items possible on a fief that has a bunch of crowns. Because however many items you have, you're going to multiply that by however many towers are on your little strongholds.
Gotcha.
And so, like, I ended up scoring like well over 100 points in the game, but it was a lot of fun, and the board fills up fast, and it's super. I mean, that's if there's a negative about the board, it could be a little bit of sensory overload.
Yeah,
because
there's stuff
the board
everywhere.
does fill up fast, and you're stacking bunnies on top of castles and moving bunnies here and making sure you can read this stuff. But I really enjoyed it. It was such a happy surprise to play that game. I love the drafting aspect of it, especially for like the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I really didn't know what to pick. And so I picked stuff that sounded cool, but didn't score me any. It scored me like 5 points. Or if I drafted this other card, I could have scored like 30 points based off of the multipliers. But I didn't know. I ended up still winning the game because I had really good drafts at the end and I scored a lot of points. But it was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed Bunny Kingdom. I almost sold it at the flea market that they were having at the con. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to sell mine. It looks cute. I need to have like a kind of, a engine building game and the draft. I think you and Matt would really like it.
Yeah, I'd really like to play it. It's been one on my list that I'd really like to try.
Next time we get together, it's one of those where we would play together. But man, yeah, so much fun. And yeah, I think I got it like when it came out, like 2 years ago at Gen Con.
Is it in Shrink?
Yeah, mine. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
insane.
Well, I mean, I still have a bunch of games. Half the games I sold on Saturday were in shrink.
I gotta send you a Penny Arcade comic. There's one that they did recently about games. I think they were talking about Villainous, and they said, "Oh man, Villainous was awesome. Like I bought it, I took it home and played it the same night." And he's like, "What? I didn't know that was even possible with games. I thought you just put them in stacks and stacks until you finally set them all in a pile in your yard and set them on fire just to be free." And it shows him like with no clothes on in front of the fire.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
got to send me that little comic.
it's like so silly.
But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the game. Not very hard to understand. Once you get it, it's pretty easy, and I like how it builds. And again, a big fan of the draft. Also, if you buy the base game, or if you have like an older copy, it came with like a smaller map. And I think Mark was telling me that you can go to Yellow, their website, IELLO. You can go to their website and request the bigger board, and they will only charge you shipping, because some
They just
people
send
were
you a bigger board.
well, yeah, because some people were complaining how small the board was.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because the board, and I think the board we played on was the bigger board, but it was still small. Like, there's a ton of stuff on that board. And so I'm excited to open mine up and look how much smaller the board is that I have.
Oh, it's crazy.
Because
it felt
it
cramped
should,
even with the bigger board.
well, the spaces are really small.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like it because, like, you're multiplying like bunnies. Like, you're all over the place. But there's so much. I mean, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see the picture of the board when we were all said and done. It's just covered in castles, colonies, bunnies, sky, kingdom things that connected stuff. I mean, it's just there. The board is completely covered. And so I can't imagine doing that on a smaller space.
Nice.
But Bunny Kingdom by Yellow Games, definitely check it out.
Awesome. Well, I played stuff that I've talked about like a ton of times. I mean, I don't know. I get in these things where it's like I have these games that I really like, and when there's people that haven't played them yet, I'm like, let's play this game. So I played Gizmos again and taught Dustin and Ryan how to play Gizmos. And I mean, that's always a fun game that I really enjoy.
It's a great game.
And then I taught Dustin how to play Guardians, which I still need to teach Rob how to play.
Yeah, I want to play that.
But yeah, Guardians is always fun. But they had several like play to win games, just interesting little games. And I played this interesting game. I mean, it's not like a crazy epic game or anything. That's just a cute little card game, but it's a game called Pairs. And basically it's like a press your luck game. We were playing 2 players, me and Dustin, because he wanted to write his name on the play to win thing. So I was like, sure, we'll play Pairs. It's real quick, he said. So I was like, fine. But basically all this is it's a whole bunch of different cards. And it's like a deck of cards where you have like I think it starts with like the 2 pairs, and it'll have like 3 apples and then like 4 of whatever, and that's how many the number that's on the card is how many of that card there is in the deck. But basically the way this game works is it's a pressure luck game, and you're trying to keep your points as low as possible. So a very simple card game with points and not really much theme at all, 0 theme. But it's just pressure luck where you're trying to not like bust, basically. So you basically take turns back and forth saying whether or not you want to get another card. You can either A, take another card, or take the value of the lowest card currently in play. And each time you take cards, each time you take a card or get a pair of cards in your own like little discard pile, then you have to like you basically have that many points that you gain, which if you get to 30 you lose the game. So basically the way it works is like, okay, so I have a 6 and a 4 out and he has a 5 out in play. I could either like, okay, well I'm going to take the 4 points, or I could just draw again and hope not to get a match. So it was kind of interesting game because you're just going back and forth, like pressuring your luck, and then you get that 10, and you know there's like 10 of the 10s in the deck, and you're like, do I draw a card? Because if I draw another 10, I'm gonna have 10 points, which means I'm pretty much gonna lose, or do I just take whatever the lowest card is currently? And sometimes there's like really high cards is the lowest card. Maybe an 8's the lowest card. It's like, well, maybe I should just press my luck and like make it happen. And I did a lot of like pressing my luck in that game, and it ended up working out pretty well for me half the time, just getting lucky. But it was a fun, cute little game that's just like a light thing to play whenever you just have two people.
How long did it take you guys to play?
Literally like 15 minutes or less.
So it's a good filler game.
Yeah, it's extremely like light filler game. And I think you could probably play it multiple players and you just go around and like try not to get knocked out. But yeah, Pairs, a cute little card game. Mostly because everything else I played, I'd already played a ton. So.
Well, sweet. Well, back on the Yellow bandwagon, I played a game, Yellow. It's called Raids. And Raids is a Viking ship game where you are going around this island port and you are trying to fight monsters, get matching tomes so you can like multiply your points, collect Vikings to join you on your ship. You are trying to gather sails so you can have more Vikings, gather axes so you can have more hit points when attacking dragons and sea monsters and stuff like that. You're also trying to get resources and sell them at certain ports and stuff like that. And so what happens in Raids is it plays up to 4 players. Now, Trevor played before, and so I played with myself, Trevor, Mark, and Kent, which I had a blast playing with those guys all weekend. We had a good time. But my point is, Trevor had to teach 3 new people how to play. So a brand new game, teaching 3 new people at 4 rounds. We had it played and learned all in under 45 minutes. So it's a good, fast game where it was a good, solid game. I felt it was a lot of game, and it was played in under an hour. But what you're doing is the first person's going to go. They're going to pick a port. You do not get what you landed on your port just because you landed there. What has to happen is everybody has to pass you, and if everyone has passed you without challenging you, then you get to pick that item up and add it onto your ship, right? So it's one of those things where the first shall be last and the last shall be first type of a thing. So the first person's going to go, he's going to pick his port, he's going to land there. Then the next person is going to go. And they're going to either land on the port that you are on, or they're going to go to another port. If they land on your port, they have to place a Viking down into the sea because they're basically attacking your ship. So if I land on your port, Roy, and I have 1 Viking, and let's say you have 1 Viking.
Yes.
I throw my 1 Viking into the sea, my Viking's dead. For you to fight back, you have to have 2 Vikings. And then I would have to spend 3. So your strategy is, I want to land on somebody that has the same amount of Vikings as I have, because then I know they can't fight back, because they're going to need double to be able to fight back. And so you keep going until the last person goes, and then once the 4th player has gone, you look at the board and you look at the map, and whoever's the last ship, who's like further back in the pack, they get to go again. And if they're on an area where something has not been claimed, they now get to claim that on their boat. Well, let's say everybody passed you up, Roy, which is a terrible strategy. If everyone passes up Roy, it's a terrible strategy. Because if Roy's last, what that means is all the spaces now in between you and the next person, if you just land on them, not only do you get to keep going, but you now get to pick up all those resources because they passed on them.
Nice.
And so it's a take that game where I'm going to land on your area to move you forward, because unless you have the Vikings to fight me back, you then have to move out of that port, and you can never go backwards. You can only ever go forwards. And so it's going to push you forwards. And so there was one time, I think round 3, where I had these goods, and I had to score the goods. But to score the goods, you have to go to an area that had a port on its dock where I could sell my goods on the port. Well, every time I landed on a port, somebody would come land on me, knowing I didn't have the amount of Vikings to fight back, so I could never sell my goods, so I never got my points. And everyone was, of course, just laughing and like, oh, we screwed Rob again. Oh, we screwed Rob. Oh, Rob, you need to sell here. Oh, we screwed you again. Because it's one of those things where, like, wherever you put the cards or the places down on the map, it's all random, so it's never a set area where I know this spot is a port.
Yeah,
it's never set, so you're never going to know. It was a lot of fun.
How do you up your Vikings? Like, what's the main way to do that?
So there's certain areas that as soon as you pass an area, you automatically get to add a Viking to it.
Gotcha.
There's certain things like if you're the first one, there were a couple of areas where they had money or Vikings. If you're the first one to pass it, you get like 2 coins or you get like 2 Vikings. And so it's one of those things where it's not necessarily advantageous or good for you to be first, but there are some benefits by being first because you'll get that first player to pass ability, right? Even though you're passing up on all the other items, you'll still get that because it's only the
if
first
your
player
Vikings
and
are too
second
low
player.
to actually be able to claim this stuff, you can be like, okay, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and get some more Vikings.
Well, yeah, if you know, all right, everybody has a bunch of Vikings. I can't really fight anybody this round. Let's say it's round 2 or round 3. I'm going to just go ahead and go around the board really fast and stock up on Vikings. So the next round, I'll be able to fight off everybody and get everything that I want.
Yeah.
Type of a thing. And so it was a lot of fun. The components are fantastic. I bought the game. It was like $35, $36 on Amazon. Comes with metal coins. Comes with beautiful wooden meeples, beautiful wooden ships. The cardboard is really thick. The printout is beautiful. It was a really well put together game, and it was a solid game. And we were laughing. Like everyone is. I mean, I got jumped on a lot at the last round, but all the rounds before that, people were jumping on other people. We were having a great time. We were laughing. We enjoyed ourselves. And I thought for $35 to have this much fun and laugh this much, I mean, it's cheaper than going to the movies now on a date.
Yeah.
I truly enjoyed myself. And it was all under an hour. And that's what I think impressed me the most is it was a good, solid, strong game, not just a filler game, a little bit more than a filler game. Depending on what everybody else is playing. But it was a good, strong, solid game that was played in under an hour. And that's Raids by Yellow Games.
Nice. Awesome.
I didn't put you to sleep, did I?
No, I was listening. I was good. Doesn't mean that I'm not tired, though. No. I've always been tired, man. One of the things is like, so my kids started going to school. And I mean, you know this, but
yeah.
I have started working even more than I was working before, and I'm still currently in the same job, so it's been a lot of hours every week. But hey, I'm not broke. I guess that's a good thing. But having that work-life balance has been kind of rough here recently.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm trying to still make content happen and things like that. So hey,
I'm excited for that Roy versus Rob.
I know, man.
Game of Thrones.
That would be nice to like make happen. Like I have other videos that I like have to do. Like I got a video, like I have to get this Mechs vs. Minions video done. So,
yeah.
And I got...
No, I'm just giving you a hard time because the ones that you won, you put up really quick. But the one that you lost, though, you're taking your time on.
I also had a lot more time back then. I don't have any
I understand.
time.
Anyway, it was a good time. It was nice this weekend to, like, not just that it was my birthday, but to, like, sit down and play games and just
for sure.
hang out with friends.
It was cool to see some people that I haven't seen in a little while.
Jeremy wasn't there, though. I thought Jeremy would be there. He was there in the spring. Jeremy Ross and his daughter.
Oh, yeah,
that was the guy that we played Hanabi with.
Yeah,
I was hoping to run into him. I didn't see him at all. So, Jeremy, if you're listening, shout out to you. Hope everything's going well.
Yeah, for sure.
Miss Courtney. Courtney's a sweetheart, but she's about to have a baby.
So close. We all know that the baby's going to be named Rob, so it's great.
No, it's not going to be named Rob, but Kent's last name is Parker, and so we're wanting the baby to name Peter Parker. I just think that'd be cool. Speaking of chat,
in the honor of the new Superman game or Spider-Man game,
bro, that Spider-Man game is so much fun, Roy.
Dude, is it only on PlayStation?
Yes, it's a PlayStation exclusive.
It's cool.
So good.
Yeah,
it is so much fun, and like, it's a little annoying because it's not perfect like physics wise, but it's pretty close. So when you're in Central Park, you're not just swinging about like crazy because there's only trees around. So you're doing like low, fast swings, type of stuff, and so it's cool, man. When you get around these big buildings and you just like swing around them and do these flips and these jumps and all this stuff, it's making me a Spider-Man fan. Like, okay, like I'd pick Spider-Man in a fight. Like he'd be my buddy off this game.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things, but gotta have that PlayStation.
Gotta have that PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's all I have. I don't have the Wii or Xbox or anything like that.
The only thing I have is Switch. So
yeah.
Switch.
You should switch to PlayStation.
I don't have time to play video games.
I play mine after midnight. Right now, my book's in the
I'm
editing
working
process.
after midnight, so.
Well, I mean, my projects that I usually do after midnight are with other people right now, and so I'm killing that time with video games.
Nice.
But man, we need to get together and play Western Legends.
Yeah,
It
we need to play
is,
Western Legends
from
for
my
sure.
understanding, the Cowboys and Indians version of Zaya.
Yeah, it looked cool. And it looks
It
like
looks
hopefully
great.
it won't be like too hard to figure out like the rules. It doesn't seem like it's that crazy or anything. So
No,
should
but
be able to
I
get into
think
that
right
thing.
now it's probably. I think it's my most exciting Kickstarter to come in for the rest of this year that I have coming in. Like I am
Oh,
really
gotcha.
excited for Village Attacks, and I'm pumped for it. But Village Attacks is another one of those. It's similar to the mechanics seem similar so far to other games that I own, where this is just so unique and so cool, and I love the idea of the Cowboys and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, it just seems really good to me. So we need to play.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, it'd be awesome to have like a legitimate game day. Speaking of which, I scheduled a time
Yes.
to do Ultimate Werewolf Legacy in October, so that should be fun. But that's gonna be strictly that game. We're gonna see how much we can play through. I invited like everybody and their sister
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
brother and uncle. I'm like, most of these people aren't gonna come, but hopefully we can get a lot of people. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I hope it works out.
I
almost
picked
ordered
anybody that I'm like, these people have played werewolf before. They would be interested in this. At least
I almost
mildly.
ordered it.
So,
I'm waiting though to play with you
gotcha.
before I order it. But it looks great. I love the book.
Dude, that book is like almost too high quality. I mean, the game isn't very cheap, but it's like because that book.
No, but the
is
game's like what, $40?
ridiculous. Yeah. But I
I
mean,
mean, but you're getting a lot of game. How many games come in it? Is it like 15 sessions?
yeah. I mean, you play 15 sessions. Or
It's
whatever.
10 plus. It's 10 plus game sessions, and they're not one night Ultimate Werewolf sessions. So it's not like 10-minute games. They're like games.
I think it comes with like 15 chapters or something like that, and each chapter has like 3 games in the chapter.
I want to narrate it. Like if there's one person that has to be the narrator.
Yeah, we
I
can
wanna, like-
we can switch that thing up because basically we can just be like, okay, this chapter I'll narrate, that chapter you'll narrate, and then you just narrate for like 3
I
games.
just want to do the crazy
and
voice.
like it's a whole like story arc of that chapter or whatever, you know. And
Hello, everybody.
I'm excited to see what goes on, you know, because it'll be crazy.
He's excited to see Matt without fill in the blank.
Nice. Well, you know, you always knock out the players that have beards first in a werewolf game because they're most like werewolves, right?
Not true. Not true. You knock out the non-hairless people because if a werewolf already went onto a hairy guy, they'd be tripping over their long hair. So you need to knock out the people that don't have hair because it's perfect for a werewolf because their hair doesn't grow any longer. And so I'm safe because I'm covered in hair. It's sad, but I'm constantly wearing a blanket. It's annoying. I'm also insulated very well. I don't like it. That's a different show, a different topic. But yeah, I'm not the werewolf. It's going to be fun, man. I'm excited to play that. And it's going to be in October, too.
Yeah. I went with like a really early October weekend because I know a lot of people have like Halloween things or like on the closer weekend. So I'm like, I'm going to do like early October, and then maybe people can put it on their schedule and they won't have to be like, well, I have this other Halloween, because I've had Halloween game days before and people are like, oh,
Yeah.
I already had this other Halloween thing planned, and I'm like, I'm going to make this early so hopefully it doesn't conflict with too many people's stuff. So it should be fun. It should be a blast.
I hope to make it.
And Werewolf's a simple enough game in the normal versions that anybody can play, so we'll see how this legacy thing works out.
Also, Matt, get better. He crushed his hand or his finger today at work.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's on I believe his mom is a nurse, and she's checking him out, like, as we speak type of thing. Or maybe, like, as the show started. But, Matt, we miss you, my friend. We missed you Saturday. Did he eventually come later that night?
Nope.
But we miss Matt, and get better, buddy. That is not fun when you get hurt on the job, whether
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
for
finger
sure.
or a hand or something small or something big. Be safe. And one last time, for everybody in the Carolinas and Virginia area or anything like that, please be safe with the hurricane coming. We like you guys. We love you guys. We want to be able to continue to talk to you guys. So please be safe.
Yeah, for sure.
Boom.
Well, I think
I feel like I should mail Liz something. She mailed me
something out of the
promo
hurricane
during the hurricane in Florida. That just hit me. Like, man, should I mail Liz something? I don't know, just like maybe a card, like a, hey, hurricane.
The
hurricane
winds are blowing.
Yeah, we'll see. She wasn't in chat tonight, so I could use that as my excuse not to do it. I'm a bad person. Liz, I love you. I appreciate you listening and putting up with us. I don't know why you do it, but I'm glad you do it.
Awesome. Well, I think we'll wrap this thing up. We just really want to have a cast where we just talked about games we've been playing since we had a bunch, and then also like talked about a little bit of news stuff and just gotten back in the flow of, we've had so many guests recently. Let us know if you enjoy the guest episodes. Talking to several other people face to face that listen to the podcast said that they like it a lot, but they also miss like just us hanging out and being silly. So
I think we have a good mix.
Yeah.
We just had a couple guys booked back to back, which is always good to have guests, but we'll continue the mix.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much, everybody. We stream these Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at youtube.com/Epic Gaming Night. We also want to say thank you so much to all of our amazing patrons. And
Thank you.
And y'all are all the best. And we're going to be doing our review of Root and then sending that copy of Root that we review out to one of our awesome patrons. So make sure to check out our Patreon if you haven't already. And we also want to say thank you so much to the patron of the week. Do you have that, Rob?
No, you didn't send us the stuff.
I texted it to you.
I
texted it to you. I texted it to you and Matt, so maybe you're probably driving home. So that's cool. That's fine. It's cool. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine. It's cool.
Sorry.
Is it here? Let me see.
No, I don't think it's in there.
Is it not in there?
Nope. Oh, yes, it is. It's
too far back.
Let's do it next week.
Let's do it. Let's do it live. Let's do it live. Okay, yeah. Let's do it next week.
Right now?
No, I'm just kidding. That was a meme. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Awesome, guys. Well, hey, if you want to check out our Patreon, make sure to check it out at patreon.com/Epic Gaming Night. It helps support the show and keeps us continuing to put out more content for you guys, which is awesome. And looking forward to hanging out with you guys and setting up some more patron hangouts and setting up more opportunities to review different games and things like that. Super exciting. Yeah, make sure to check us out on Instagram at Epic Gaming Night to check out our favorite Game Fridays and things that we've been playing. And make sure to check out Rob at writing.newman. Because he always posts games that are coming into his house, which is awesome.
I had 3 come in today. Very excited.
Awesome.
My copy of Raid came in today. My amazing Kickstarter of Western Legends came in today. And then also I ordered Hail Hydra, which I'm excited to play, came in today.